right, over to this hour's spotlight, and it is Black History Month, and throughout the month we'll be showcasing prominent members of the Black community, having direct conversations about breaking barriers and instilling change towards equality and inclusion, but also celebrating incredible Black culture and listening to what we can do to make all of our communities feel safe and included. Well, Kirk Diamond is a very well-known name, a Juno Award-winning singer. He's a songwriter, producer, and activist, and his music really speaks volumes to his audience. And I'm so excited to have Kirk in the studio here with me. Welcome, my friend, and congratulations on your latest Juno win.
Yeah, thank you, and thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Talk to me about your music and the path that you took that got you to here today.
Well, I do reggae music.
Yes.
You know, and being that I'm Jamaican, it was the only thing that kept me, while being in Canada, close to my culture. So that's the reason why I believe, you know, reggae music was my path.
And having that connection to your culture and being able to put it out to the community, how important is that? I mean, we tout ourselves as a multicultural society, and we have to learn about all of our cultures.
Yeah, I found it extremely important based on the fact that being here, growing up here, it's almost as if to Jamaicans you're Canadian,
yeah,
and then to Canadians you're Jamaican, so we're in between, and sometimes we don't know where to fit in. So I use the music to try to give ourselves a space to say, well, this is who I am,
yeah,
you know?
And what has it meant to communities, people that listen to your music, being able to get that, fit into that space?
On two sides, it's the ones that are fitting in and the ones on the outside understanding who we are, you know? So that has been the most important part, just trying to get everyone to understand this is who we are and this is the culture. We love that you embrace it. We embrace, you know, everything about Canada as well.
Right.
So, you know, just making Canada that melting pot, so
Yeah.
to speak, actually be a reality.
Yeah. You use music to tell a story. You use music to send a message. Talk to me a little bit about that. It's a great way to connect with people, but it's a great way to break down some of those barriers. As we say, we need to have that education, and you say that understanding, that embracing of culture.
Right.
But when it isn't there's, you know, certain impressions that are made of individuals. But you break that down with your music.
Yeah, I believe because everyone's having their own experience, even the way we perceive things, we perceive things a lot differently than others. Right, and reggae music being one that is about inclusivity, it's about love. You know, Bob Marley says one love, and that's basically the slogan for the entire genre.
Yeah.
I try to use the music to basically take a perspective from something and let you know that, you know, you're going through something, you're seeing something and feeling something, we're feeling the exact same thing. You know, and together we can overcome or get through whatever the situation is.
Being here, as you mentioned, in Canada, you're a Jamaican man. In Jamaica, you're a Canadian man. But being here in Canada, what has it meant for you, or what has that experience been like for you to be a Black man here in Canada?
Well, it's different because I've been here since the 90s,
Yeah.
so I've seen the change in culture.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen, you know, over time, everyone starts sounding Jamaican when they speak. You know, when it wasn't like that when I just got here.
Yeah.
But you know, it has had its ups and downs, you know, trying to fit in a space that it's foreign
Right.
to me, you know what I mean? Snow and all that, being new from a place where there is no snow.
Yeah.
And trying to learn other cultures, trying to, like I said, where to fit in, what to do, what not to do, because obviously culture clashes. There's things that's okay in one culture that's not okay in another.
Yeah.
So it's been a learning experience.
How old were you when you came here?
10 years old.
Okay, so as a
Right.
child,
Yeah.
and now as an adult, and you mentioned the evolution. If you make the comparison to what you were as a kid to, of course, you've made a space for yourself as a well-known singer.
Right. But definitely, even before I came here, things that I have done between the ages of 0 and 10, I would never allow my children to do that. I was already going to like street dances and stuff like that in Jamaica before. And whereas if my children were supposed to say, hey, I want to go to this party at 8, nah.
Not gonna happen.
You know, but
I'd
it
be
was
the same way.
it was in the community.
Right, right.
So it's a part of the
It's
culture,
different,
you
yeah.
know, so it's a lot different.
You last year you had an album out. You released your debut album, Dread, October 6th, I believe it was
Yeah,
released.
yes.
Tell me about that.
Well, Dread was, for me, it's a timepiece, a love story, basically. It's about what made me fall in love with this music to begin with, you know, and it's called Dread because in the late 70s, early 80s, the most significant thing about reggae music was dreadlocks. You know what I mean? So like you have Bob Marley's and the whole Rasta movement
Right.
and all that with the locks. So I just named it Dread and I did my basic love story to the genre.
I love that. It's amazing. And I mean, you're so well recognized. You have a park named after you in Brampton. People know who you are. And now, of course, you've got this album. What do you want your listeners to take away from your music? Those that have been so dedicated, but new ones that are now listening to this interview right now and wanting to plug into some of your stuff.
Well, my music is me growing up. It's me telling it as it's my diary. You know, so if you were listening to Kirk Diamond 10 years ago, it's different than what's happening now in my music.
Yeah.
You know, it's literally me growing up in front of your eyes or in front of your ears, if that's a thing. So, yeah. So I hope people love it. It's all uplifting music, all positive music. Certain situations aren't positive, but we try to have a positive perspective on the outcome of the situation. And, you know, for the most part, people love it, especially when we perform live. So,
Well, live is the way to be. It's
Yeah.
amazing having you live here in studio. So wonderful. Thank you so much for
Thank
this.
you.
Congratulations, Kirk Diamond, ladies and gentlemen, Juno Award-winning artist.